Is it safe to say that R&B music is criminal, especially when it's being done by black males? Is it safe to say that when you see one of these YNs singing, they're doing it because they got bad intentions? This is more than just a pattern. We've been seeing this going on for years. There's rumors about David being one of them boys that used to be on Epstein Island. Somehow, he made it back to America. Instead of silencing him, they gave him a record deal. We're about to talk about it, man. Make sure y'all do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, we got to get into this news.
Was back in a downtown LA courtroom today, days after he was charged with murder and the death of a 14-year-old girl. The judge set a preliminary trial date for May 1st as prosecutors revealed more details in their investigation. KTLA's Jennifer McGraw live for us in downtown LA with the very latest. Jen, good morning.
Hi, Megan. Good morning. Yeah, David came into court in an orange jumpsuit and handcuffs. Prosecutors say there is so much evidence that both the prosecution and the defense need more time, so that's why they set the date of May 1st. Now, we are learning new details, disturbing details this morning in regards to this investigation. Investigators have alleged that they've uncovered child pornography on the suspect's phone, and some of the other evidence includes wiretaps, grand jury transcripts, police body cam footage, forensic evidence, and property and vehicle reports, and of course the autopsy info. The LA County Medical Examiner confirms Celeste Rivas Hernandez died from what's described as multiple penetrating injuries, and her death has been ruled a homicide. The 26-page report details gruesome injuries after finding her remains last September inside a Tesla linked to David Anthony Burke, who simply goes by David. Investigators say Celeste was last seen on April 23rd of last year. David has pleaded not guilty, and legal analysts say what matters now is whether prosecutors can directly tie those injuries to the defendant.
Unless more information is revealed and we learn more from the police reports, the prosecution is still going to have to show that it was David that was holding whatever that weapon is and inflicted those injuries.
The case has drawn added attention because of David's 2022 breakout song entitled Romantic Homicide. Prosecutors allege the 21-year-old killed the 14-year-old because she threatened to expose what they describe as an illegal sexual relationship with a minor. Now,
Wait a minute, y'all. Hold on now. Y'all wait 1 second. Hold on tight to your seats. You mean to tell me this man could find you in the alleyway broke with no underwears eating a can of pork and beans and bring you to justice? Him alone, no technology, just his black Negroid nose. That's all he need to come and get you? He been doing it for years. It ain't hard to find a sneaky bastard, especially with a body in his trunk. On top of that, he could sniff out all the evidence. They call him a dog. They could repossess your car when you hiding it at your auntie house. And your auntie live in a whole nother state. And they need more time to figure out if David committed these crimes, even though they found the R. Kelly videos on his phone. Somebody make that make sense, man.
David faces some serious charges. He will be back in court in LA here on May 1st, and he could seek the death penalty. That's very late.
Damn, they talking about, hey, if he get the death penalty, we should take all the R&B music and set it on fire. Matter of fact, blow him up with all them CDs. Put Neo CD in there, like all the R. Kelly music, the old and the new. We can do without it moving forward. It had its time in history. We could be through with R&B music coming from males, specifically black males. I can't believe Chris Brown and Usher about to go on tour, and they both done did some things that should have their fans pissed off. But this really got me wondering, y'all. What does it really take to get a record deal? When you come up in that office, they want to know if you one of them. The pattern is so recognizable to where it's not just a pattern or coincidence. This is our reality. That's how people get down. People were singing the Kendrick Lamar song all summer, talking about trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. He wasn't just talking about Drake. It's any and every last one of them as far as I'm concerned. Listen at this.
A hearing just wrapped up for singer David in his first-degree murder case.
The prosecution revealed details about disturbing digital evidence. Let's get to CBS LA's Rick Montanez with what we learned in court today. Rick, what are you hearing?
Amy, Chris, the hearing just wrapped up within the half hour here, and cameras were not allowed in court, but I can tell you that the defendant, David Burke, was in court today in shackles and wearing that orange jumpsuit. The biggest new piece of evidence revealed, prosecutors say a significant amount of child porn found on Burke's cell phone. We also want to point out that this all happens one day after the medical examiner's report became public. That is the report on the death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. The report says, or I should say the family of Rivas Hernandez is absolutely devastated to learn the gruesome details contained in that write-up. That's according to a family statement. So this report says the 14-year-old girl died of sharp force trauma, but the autopsy was difficult because of the severe decomposition of her dismembered body when it was found in the singer's abandoned Tesla last September. Officials say she died 5 months earlier in April of last year. Burke, the suspect known by his stage name David, was arrested last Thursday. On Monday, he pled not guilty to the capital murder charges. We spoke with a former federal prosecutor just a short time ago here on CBS LA Mornings about this new evidence revealed in today's hearing and the fact that David's phone, according to prosecutors, contains...
When did he start Googling the devil? That's what I'm concerned about. When did he type 666 into the search engine? And how long he been looking into this type of stuff? Who put him on? People be flushing the kids down the toilet. Fellas, y'all got to figure out different ways to discard those condoms. Because there's underground facilities under there waiting for it to come through the chute. They grab that shit, put your baby in the incubator. Next thing you know, it's an R&B singer on the TV that look like your cousin. A lot of people are lab grown, especially when they got opportunities other people can't have. The whole NBA is lab grown. Y'all seen Kevin Durant when he was a baby, he was a midget. And no disrespect to my little people. His neck and his head still dwarfed, but the rest of his body stretched out like Gumby. We don't know who these people are. He wasn't born insane. He was born out of a toilet. Now we got to put up with his until they give him the death penalty. When people do background checks for you to come work at the gas station or work at a grocery store or something like that, they don't have to dig too deep. But when you are an R&B singer and you trying to get a gig and you trying to get on, you want to stand next to the R. Kellys of the world. You trying to whoop ass like Trey Songz. Your forefathers is Ike Turner and the Spinners and dudes that been beating and abusing people for a long time. You want to join the ranks of Chris Brown. You show up to the event. Ain't no more showtime at the Apollo. You're going to have to show time of whooping somebody's ass or doing worse. Jay-Z said it the best. I'll show you how to move in a room full of vultures. Hell, you got to do what the vultures do. They still protecting his ass. If he get off, his stock is only going to rise. The hell with a Ouija board. Hand me that David CD. Ain't going to be no more Bloody Mary. It's going to be David. I'm sickened by this because people waiting for him to get off so they could celebrate Halloween the right way. Your kids show up to the door with an afro and some black fingernail polish, and when you ask them who they are for Halloween and they say David, and they got a little Tesla bike or whatever the case is, you're going to be scratching your head. Listen at this.
Child porn.
And obviously, we don't know if it's Celeste Rivas's images and videos or something else, but that is a significant offense. Obviously, it helps prosecutors prove the sex crimes, the lewd and lascivious, Penal Code Section 288, but it's also a separate crime in and of itself. And it's certainly the possibility that the feds even step into this case because they typically will prosecute these types of child pornography cases.
They acting like he Prince Harry or somebody. Like he's some type of royalty. What type of black is he? He must not be regular black. Maybe that's a mask. He been wearing blackface this whole time. You snatch that shit off, it might be Justin Bieber under there. Because they acting like, look, when you black, it don't take all that. They doing too much. David Anthony Burke, born March 28th, 2005, professionally known as David. He a kid himself. How old is he? Only 21? They make it seem like he 45. And he ain't been 21 that long. Hey, no comment. Born David Anthony Burke, March 2000. Man, let me just elaborate on this. He's 21. They talking about him like he got bald patches in his head. He a damn child. Is an American singer, songwriter, born in New York City and raised in Houston, Texas. Burke began composing music in 2021 for his Fortnite gameplay montages. So he started doing music during the pandemic for his Fortnite games. Okay. He first achieved commercial success with his 2022 singles Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. So he went from making music for Fortnite to having a record deal. How did that, well, that's how he got on through Fortnite. Burke began his music career by uploading Fortnite gaming montages to avoid copyright issues. He started creating original music, blending lo-fi pop, R&B, and indie rock. He released his music to SoundCloud, including songs such as You and I, Take Me to the Sun, and Runaway. He chose the stage name David partially to increase his search engine optimization. He released the single Romantic Homicide on July 20th or whatever, following TikTok snippets of it going viral. The song's success prompted Dark Room and Interscope Records to sign Burke in September 2022. They took his ass on the whirlwind. They snatched him up off of Fortnite. He wasn't groomed for this. When they put him down with the program, it probably didn't settle right. He don't know what's real. He don't know what's not. They snatched him up and put him in front of the devil. On July 2023, he featured on Super Blood Moon, a single from Holly Humblestone's debut. Also that year, Burke performed the opening act for SEA. So they already into some dark shit. They're not telling the whole story with this stuff. There ain't no way they telling the whole story. You don't go from Fortnite to putting out records like that. If that's what they want the public to believe, that it's a humble beginning on some cute video games, I don't believe it. I think this story is a lot deeper than what they're telling us.
And we also learned from prosecutors that there is a large amount of digital data that needs to be processed and shared as evidence with the defense. So
he probably had them videos from a couple of years ago when he was a teen. His dumb ass probably was busting cheeks recording when he was a damn child. When he started making money, okay, if he's 21 now and he got put on in 2021, how old was he when he first started? You know, kids do got cameras on their phones. That shit probably old as dirt. Like, wait a minute, Your Honor. We were both 12. We were both 12. Wait, hold on, wait, excuse me I just turned 21. Last month, goddammit. Give me a break. He could get out of this one. If that's what they pushing. How a child gonna have, and I ain't saying this right, and I'm not condoning nothing this man got going on, but they all over the place with this. Was he framed? Now I don't know what to believe. Because in my mind, they got me thinking he a 45-year-old man. Bear with me, because he said he's a Christian. Stating in an interview with Astrophil magazine, I get personal power from God for sure. Heavy believer in the Christian faith. So we're going to see what your pastor got to say about this on Sunday. Because he let it be known, even though he made creepy music for creepy people, personally he's a Christian. And a lot of rock stars are like that. They do their gigs, snap heads off of pigeons and drink blood on stage. But on Sunday, they having dinner with a Baptist church. Hold on.
Is a lot that will happen as this case moves forward, but it will be back in court. Both sides will be back in court on April 29th next week, so they can get an update on where they stand with evidence, whether they need more time to prepare for a potential capital murder trial. Also worth noting, today's date, April 23rd, it marks the 1 year since Celeste Rivas Hernandez was last seen alive.
And everybody on the news look like they on some weird shit too, man. They look like they got secrets. All of these news reporters speaking on this. Somebody need to check their hard drive. I ain't saying I'm riding with David. How he get his car towed and he's supposed to have money? It's too convenient for me. All of this stuff, the blood on the shirt, what they trying to do? The girl Celeste look like she from the late 80s, a Backstreet Boys fan. I don't know what to believe. But we're about to get back into this news. Listen at this. Hold on. Get it together.
Welcome back to Court TV. Let's switch gears now to Los Angeles for that high-profile case involving celebrity singer David Burke. Now, his hearing ended just a short time ago, and 1 year ago today, 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, that's the victim here, she was seen for the last time, and investigators say...
Oh, I know his type. He the type his mama ain't let him come outside and play with us. Yeah, brother, I see what's going on here. They got you working for the man and everything, going against your own brother. He was that little boy that his mama wouldn't let him come play with us dusty kids. I know his type. They put him up there to tear David down. And like I said, I'm not riding with David. He the devil. As far as I know, that's what they putting out to the public. But a lot of this look Photoshopped. And now I don't know what to believe. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of investigation on my own. I was going to let the news play. But the news some bullshit. So I got to see it for what it is. Let me see. Because they said David in the Bible did some old BS too. And he said he a Christian man and everything. So I don't want to do my brother like that if he's human. But we got to figure that part out first. Oh, I ain't paying for shit. See, this don't sound right. Why they got it? They so hardcore with it. Child P among evidence in the case against singer David accused of murdering the girl or whatever. Then they go there, they see, you got to look out for the language that they be using. It's among the key evidence the Los Angeles prosecutors say will bolster their case against alt pop singer David, who has been charged with murder and prolonged sexual abuse of a middle school age girl whose remains were found in the trunk of his car last year. The 21-year-old entertainer, who was arrested April 16th, has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder with special circumstances. Ain't that convenient that this romantic homicide took place around Valentine's Day? Oh, I know my geography. Don't call me a slow motherfucker. I could read between the lines. Davis, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, is accused. Oh my God, I don't even like reading this stuff. This is bad. During the court hearing, just put him in the chair. They might as well do a 2-for-1. Pooh Shiesty been acting up too. Get C Murder, put all them niggas in there. And since Suge Knight wanted to be the CEO of Death Row, put his ass in there too. I say throw all their ass in the chamber. Fucking Trey Songz, he got allegations out about him. Fucking Dr. Dre used to beat bitches. Throw him in there too. I'm not about to sit here and read all this. If he did all that stuff or he's accused of doing all that stuff, somebody light the damn match. There's really nothing else to talk. We shouldn't be even having debates and discussions about this no more. This stuff is too gruesome. Matter of fact, we're going to get into the news because I'm pretty sure they're going to break it down. Look, y'all need to see this.
Our top story tonight, we are learning more about the death of a 14-year-old girl found dismembered in the Tesla trunk of singer David, his vehicle. He's behind bars tonight after pleading not guilty to murder charges. The medical examiner's office says Celeste Rivas Hernandez died from 2 penetrating wounds to her upper body, one to her liver and another on the left chest that damaged her ribs.
Yo, for all you young boys out there, do not ask Maria to the prom. Because her parents gonna fucking flip. Don't do it. I told you about that Mignate. They not going for it, man. They weren't going for it before this. But right now, do not ask Maria nowhere. Let her go on and be with Javier or Carlos. Do not try it. This is international news, brothers. You're gonna have to stick with Quisha. Ask Quisha to the prom. Swallow your pride and deal with the attitude. Because it is not going down. Lord have mercy.
Criminal complaint says the 21-year-old singer, whose real name is David Burke, killed the 14-year-old girl with a sharp object. Her body was later found dismembered in a zippered body bag in his vehicle's trunk in a Hollywood tow yard. Officials say her body was so decomposed, her eye color could not be determined. A big question in the case is whether Burke's song lyrics can be used against him as evidence in his own murder trial. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon, she's live in downtown LA with how this could all play out for the entertainer. Rachel?
Marla, it's been an ongoing debate here and across the country. It really comes down to whether an artist's lyrics can be perceived as a confession to a crime or is it simply artistic expression. Either way, though, in this case, talking to it.
While we looking at this, the devil is in your refrigerator making the bologna sandwich. And they know that. I would have never thought they would put together a distraction like this for the public. This is cruel. They could have executed his ass and nobody would have gave a damn. They could have threw his ass in a ditch and buried him and called him a one-hit wonder. The way they spreading this all over, like mayonnaise on the bun of a Whopper, got me thinking that it's an agenda behind all of this. They pushing for this to be mainstream news. I'm pretty sure us Americans got some deeper we need to be concerned about. And on top of all of that, it sounds like fluff. When they opened up the car or opened up the trunk and they seen her decompose and they said they couldn't even tell her eye color, I seen police officers freak out over shit and get to punching walls and stuff. They got to help each other up. They got the damn, what you call them pumps, the asthma pumps out. They on the phone with Big Mama crying. I seen police officers freak out. So when they arrested him, nobody gave him a haymaker to the face. He should be standing in court with 2 black eyes. And it took them a year to arrest him. Let you get caught with some shit like that. Let you get caught with a dead dog in the trunk. And they ain't got the name of the dog, the tag. I don't think it'll make it to the news, but your ass will be in jail. I'm over it, y'all. I'm going to try to, how long I've been on here? I'm going to try to stretch this a little bit without getting in my feelings too bad. But I think they playing with us.
Attorneys, it seems like a judge will ultimately have to decide whether or not a jury will weigh those lyrics as evidence. So many questions this week surrounding the case against singer David.
Man, fuck them lyrics. What the hell? Y'all got a dead body in this man's trunk and y'all trying to decide if y'all gonna use his lyrics or not? Y'all got all the proof y'all need. See, this some bullshit.
The entertainer accused of brutally killing a 14-year-old girl. One of the top questions is, can David's lyrics be used as evidence for prosecutors in his own murder trial? LAPD chief discussing this topic on Good Day LA Wednesday.
It'll be certainly introduced, I'm sure, and that's something that that will get attention during the trial.
I'm so sorry. But y'all know how this is a Hollywood production. I ain't trying to ruin the fantasy for you. You ain't been to the movies in a long ass time. So I'm not trying to ruin the theatrics. But if they put the drone or the helicopter to get the footage of the car and the pound, that's some planning for some future some news. When they got time for all that? I ain't never seen a drone flying over a murder scene while they investigating. And if it was some type of shit like that, it had to be something that happened right then and there. So they put a production together right there at the tow yard for the police. Did the news do this? Did somebody call the news when they found the body and they decided to hover over and get footage of the Tesla while it's sitting in the pound? You gotta think about stuff like this. In order to put a production behind something, you must got plans on making the movie. Especially when it don't call for all of that.
For prosecutors in his own murder trial. LAPD chief discussing this topic on Good Day LA Wednesday.
It'll be certainly introduced, I'm sure, and that's something that that will get attention during the trial.
The song and music video many have pointed to is Romantic Homicide, released in 2022, years prior to when Celeste died.
Listen to that shit.
Credible evidence. That's why the prosecutors are really going to argue to have it. And the defense is going to say, no way. It's a First Amendment right.
In 2022, Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill restricting the use of rap lyrics as evidence in criminal trials. Though not an outright ban, criminal defense attorneys say that means prosecutors in David's case will have to convince a judge that the lyrics are relevant and not prejudicial.
If the lyrics give some sort of blueprint, even if it's a blueprint for future harm, then they become extremely relevant, probative. The defense is going to argue, no, it's not relevant. It's more prejudicial.
The topic raises.
I know they ain't come and get that boy in no tactical gear. They got on, is they about to ride a bike with this nigga? They got helmets.
It's not relevant. It's more.
They got multiple vests on. They walking him out like he about to do a concert.
More prejudicial.
The topic raises questions of free speech and whether a musician's visual art or lyrics can be used as evidence in a criminal case. But attorneys say every case is different, including David's, who pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder.
They will look on a case-by-case basis and see whether this is relevant to the case. And it's not just rappers. Country music, hip-hop music, R&B.
Now, through his attorneys, though, we should also mention David has maintained his innocence throughout this entire case.
This is work for people. And that's all it is. It's a check. and they don't mind running this thing around. It already been going on for over a year. So however long they could stretch this out and have some employment going on, a high profile, it's a safe zone. He's black, he raps, it's perfect to get a bag. I think at this point it's beyond justice. It's not about justice at this point. It's about revenue. Because that black fatigue is at an all-time high. And now everybody can have a reason to say the N-word with the ER at the end of it. I believe he's guilty or whatever the case is. If this story is even true, I'm not trying to take up for the man or anything, but hell, every year, this is becoming seasonal. They might as well just do a holiday for this. It's a tradition at this point to get a singer, whatever, a high-profile rapper, and take them to court, use the lyrics. They done did it with too many people now. Matter of fact, let me take a little trip down memory lane. And I know y'all thinking, well, if people wasn't doing dumb stuff, they wouldn't have to go through stuff like this. But I'm saying that it's starting to look a little systematic. I remember when this happened. YouTubers and streamers was rubbing their hands together like, yes, got him, time to make some bread. It looked like he was public enemy number one. They did Young Thug like he was John Gotti. He was the biggest case in hip hop. He's going down. He's facing the death penalty. Had the high priced lawyers involved. It was all a bunch of fluff. But it made a lot of news, though, and it provided a lot of jobs. People in Atlanta ate good off that Young Thug trial. The lawyers, come to find out, Fannie Willis was banging her assistant or whatever the case is. They got too big for their britches or whatever. But even then, I felt like this was all a gig for Young Thug. For media purposes, your music ain't selling, well, we got another job for you. Oh, people not coming to your shows? Well, you got to put that celebrity to use, young man. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it like this. Look, y'all need to see this. And it's all just my theory or whatever. But when Young Thug was in them lodges with his frat brothers and they repping that Alpha Phi, Alpha, got them thugs all up in their organization, and they get to pulling strings for people, and they having meetings on how they could, help the man or whatever the case. I'm talking about young boys in the lodge. I'm my brother's keeper. They planning diabolical things just to stay ahead. And I ain't trying to get too deep into this because I know it's not supposed to be that deep, but when your brothers call, you better be willing to take you already took the damn pledge. But what do I know? Deception is everything. They'll do any goddamn thing for a bag. So when it comes to David, I know that Fortnite music wasn't selling like that. It's either you gonna take this money and be a damn, you already want to be Jason Voorhees, nigga. We seen the video. They seen the video before all of this stuff even took place. And these times we living in, shit, this enough to keep a nigga distracted for 20 years. And have blacks and Latinos beefing hard. Like, what you say to my sister? Like, no, motherfucker, you don't even look at my sister. They willing to protect, and rightfully so. Shit, it's going to be next Friday all over again. Craig and Day going to be on top of the car while Chico trying to bite their balls off. Goddamn. Hey, it is what it is. Okay, let's get into this. I'm going to get out my feelings. We're going to get back into this news.
Marlon, it's been ongoing debate here and across the country. It really comes down to whether an artist's lyrics can be perceived as a confession to a crime or is it simply artistic expression. Either way, though, in this case, talking to attorneys, it seems like a judge will ultimately have to decide whether or not a jury will weigh those lyrics as evidence. So many questions this week surrounding the case against singer David, the entertainer accused of brutally killing a 14-year-old girl. One of the top questions is, can David's lyrics be used as evidence for prosecutors in his own murder trial? LAPD chief discussing this topic on Good Day LA Wednesday.
It'll be certainly introduced, I'm sure.
Did not see that already.
Now at 11, new allegations against the TikTok singer being charged in the murder of a Lake Elsinore teen. David Burke went in front of a judge this morning for the second time in this high-profile case, and new evidence was released. NBC4's Brittany Hope is live at the criminal court building in downtown LA. Brittany, you were inside that hearing. Can you break down what happened this morning?
Hi, Annabelle. So first I want to start with this. Absolutely, the biggest headline came from prosecutors. They say that there was a ton of child porn on David's iPhone. That was the first time that we've heard of that publicly, and you could see the reaction in the courtroom when prosecutors said that. I want to bring in legal analyst Royal Oakes. Royal, you were sitting in there with me. How does this new allegation impact the case ahead? I mean, he's already facing the most serious of charges.
Well, of course, if they have evidence that he had child porn, everybody's going to say he was.
Nigga, do you got the motherfucking shit on your phone? No, excuse my language. They got a lot of nerve bringing Pee Wee Herman or whoever he is. They got a whole lot of nerve. They trying to sweep they shit under the rug with this David nonsense. And how he know did he see the stuff on his phone? I hope he ain't the one that synced it. Because if he did, maybe he need to get put down too. Or do a little time. What they doing with that evidence? I know they ain't deleted. I wouldn't trust none of them with that phone. They need to confiscate. Don't let them up take that phone home. Or talk about they need a copy for evidence, or let me get the hard drive, or whatever the case is. I got to do the math. Can somebody in the chat do the math? Look, the phone line's open too. I need somebody to help me with this thing. Do y'all think he should get the death penalty? He's 21 years old. They talking about this kitty stuff in his phone. But I would reckon it's 2026. How old was he when he first, was he 14 when he first came out? He should have deleted that shit on his 18th birthday. If it's old or whatever. What would they do if they found some granny porn in the phone? Hold on, I better go ahead. Let me get my shit. Hold on, y'all. I need to make sure. Just in case. Them 50 and up websites, I don't know, man. They got nice features. Okay, I'm over here getting my situation right just in case. You figure old people like old stuff and young people like young, I don't even want to talk about it because it's weird. And he 21, he a grown ass man. He ain't had no business, whatever what he was doing. But come on, man. They sensationalizing the shit out of this. You got a dead body on your hands. We don't need all this stuff. It's not necessary at this point. And what difference do it make? They said she was decomposing so bad that they ain't even recognize her. Now they worried about what the hell he got on his phone. What about what the hell he had in that damn trunk? I swear, I'm going to try to stick it out a little longer, y'all. A little longer, but they killing me with this. And I know the name of the game. You're supposed to just shut up and do the news. And that's why the view's low. People don't want the truth. If I can sensationalize this shit like they could, I'll probably be a billionaire by now. But let me see what y'all talking about in the comment section before I lose my freaking mind over here. Gage Gore's in the building. What it do, brother, man? He said we must stay focused. I'm trying to, man. Brandy said we got ADHD over here. I'm working on myself. Buller said, this is not funny, but I'm crying laughing at you. I'm not trying to make it funny because this is some serious stuff. But, you know, when you got this dude talking about people having kiddie stuff in their phone, it's kind of hard to take him seriously.
Terrible guy. The question is, what specific evidence does the DA have to link him to the murder? We don't know yet because they haven't revealed it. Could be DNA. But on May 1, there's going to be a preliminary hearing where there'll be a mini trial. And over the course of a week, the prosecution will lay out their case.
And before that, another kind of the second biggest headline was simply how much data, how much evidence there is, and issues with processing all of that. They say that there's 40 terabytes of evidence that they need to download. But my first thought is we're in the digital age. Almost every case, there must be phone records, all of this involved. Why do you think it's such an issue this time?
I think it's because there's a tsunami of evidence, apparently digital, and also witness statements, subpoenas, grand jury testimony has to be unsealed, plus privileged information has to be called out. So it's a huge job to get ready for the prelim.
Man, y'all they full of shit. Full of it. Hold on, wait, y'all. Wait. You mean to tell me that they about to take the time to sort through 20 gigabytes of hardcore evidence of some shit that probably happened when he was a child? When you got a decomposing body already in the trunk? Like, yeah, we seen you shoot Miss Daisy in the head, but what we really want to know is what you got on that phone, boy. The sheriff got you dead to rights. You got the gun in your hand still smoking. But they tell you to go wait it out while they go through all the gigabytes on your hard drive. You got a dead body. Wait a minute. Let me show y'all something real quick. Let y'all know I ain't tripping. Hold on. I know I ain't tripping. Hold on, y'all. Look.
This accident. We just found a body in the bed of the truck.
There's blood all over the car. It smells like death in there. We have not checked the trunk, and I have this terrible feeling about the trunk. Whoa. What the fuck is that?
3 routine traffic stops. 3 officers who pulled someone over for something completely ordinary.
You think they let them people go home after they found that in their trunk? Hell no. They tackled that ass right then and there and put the cuffs on them. Hold on, y'all. Hello. Who this is?
What up, Shawn?
Hey, what's going on, brother, man? How you feeling?
I'm chilling. This Charlie Field. Y'all lock me in, Shawn.
No doubt, bro. We talking about this Davis situation. Do you feel like he should get the death penalty?
Well, anybody that does wrong, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, real talk.
Think so?
Man, I figure if you did a crime, if you get caught with some weed in the trunk, you going down. If you get caught with a brick or anything, some illegal substances in the trunk, you going down. But a decomposing body in your trunk, it's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, that's right.
Shit, hold on. Drop the phone on him. Hold on, y'all.
We need to stay out of trouble because it's so much happening right now that if you get caught with anything, it's a wrap.
Yeah, man. Why do you think they didn't just arrest him and charge him with the murder? Why do you think they're going through all this stuff, even though they got so much evidence? They looking for more evidence as if her body isn't enough.
Because you know what it is? You want sloppy with it.
It don't get no more sloppier than getting your car towed with a body in the trunk.
Yeah. These motherfuckers making. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cuss on your platform over there.
No doubt.
It's a whole bunch of people that's getting sloppy with all of their message.
Yeah.
And why you got to do it in the first place instead of just doing the right thing?
You know what? That's a good point right there. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Just be with your family. You know, take care of your women in the family. You know, do your job. What you here for?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's a fact. You just gotta take care of the women in your family, specifically the men. They gonna have to figure it out, but the women in your family, you gotta take care of them, or else what is you really living for?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Shawn, I salute you, man.
No
you
doubt.
got a great platform.
Yo, I appreciate you. From Philly or Maryland?
Huh?
You from Philly or Maryland?
Jersey.
Maryland. Okay, that's what's up, man.
Jersey.
Real talk.
North New Jersey. Stand up.
That's what's up, man. Yo, much love to Maryland and Jersey, man. Yo, you the realest of the realest. We so glad you called. Yo, I gotta lock you in, man. The next time I go live, you can feel free to call back anytime, bro.
That's right.
No
That's
doubt.
right.
All right,
That's how we gotta do.
Real talk, man. Yo, yeah, be easy, bro. No doubt, man. So much love for him, man. Thank him so much for his phone call, everybody. Justice for Celeste. That's all I could say. But they don't want no justice, or else the gig is up. I know he happy. He get to take down the black guy. They gonna salute him where he from. He ain't gotta buy a beer and no more for the rest of his life. Like, you took him down, man. You took him down. Like, he's a hero. He gonna be straight. He happy to get on the job. You know she with it. Like I've been saying for years and for years, Paula Deen is the GOAT. You know she happy about it. They feel like they doing a great American service taking down David. Shit, she look like the Celeste of the future. Like, I am redeeming my past. She having a past life regression dealing with this David situation. I tried to read through this, but this is pretty rough stuff, man. David linked to the girl before her disappearance. Celeste, who was in the 7th grade, had been linked to Burke around the time of her disappearance in 2024. The pair had appeared together on the Twitch stream that January, and David had been photographed blocks from the girl's home in Lake Eleanor, California, sometime between January and March. So that's all you need. She was seen with this man. Hey, if y'all see me on TikTok or somewhere with somebody and next thing you know I'm in that nigga trunk, don't be talking about what he got in his phone. Don't be concerned about what he like to look at in his private life or whatever. That ain't got nothing to do with my dead body. Rest in peace to her spirit, but if she is out there, I know she gotta be thinking, well, what about me? Like, I'm not enough. Do they feel like she not enough? Because that's what it's starting to look like. Because they going all over the place with this bullshit. Like, that's like if you go to the restaurant and they put the main entree on the table and y'all just eating the sides and y'all waiting for more appetizers to come. The chef might come from behind the kitchen and ask y'all, what the fuck wrong with y'all? I make this whole steak dinner and you guys want French fries? Get the fuck out of my restaurant. You might get cussed out at an Italian restaurant doing something like that. But that's what they doing. They want to eat around Celeste. Like, we'll save that for later. The way this man talking, he got a whole spread laid out. Like, yo, we got that mixtape dropping in May. And when that come out, we're going to let that sizzle in the streets. Then after that, we're going to hit him with the main course. We're going to do a little dibble and dabble, a little DJing, spinning records. because this is a hip-hop R&B case. That's how he talking. He got the whole lineup for the summer. Law enforcement taking over for the 9/9 in the 2000. I see you working with a trunk, yeah. This some bullshit. I ain't never seen the news people work a murder case like this. They should let this go to the People's Court or something like that if they really want to make it entertaining. Dun 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 dun. David, a R&B singer. Dun 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 dun. Girlfriend found in his trunk. Dun 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 dun. Evidence on his phone. Dun 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 dun. It shouldn't even take for all of this. Hold on. I need to hear him talk about it again because he make it sound real ridiculous. Look, the way she brought him in, he was waiting in the cut for him to do his thing while she talking and she spitting her bars for the news. She laying that game down flat because she went to college for this. Homie in the cut catching the breeze, knowing he about to kill it as soon as they give him the mic. Look how he's standing. Like, you must don't know about me. You must don't know about me. She looked like she's saying, now, yo, check it. Bust the ballistics to the peoples about what's going on with this trial, Big Daddy. Ho, let me tell you, we got a lineup coming for you, baby.
You were sitting in there with me. How does this new allegation impact the case ahead? I mean, he's already facing the most serious of charges.
Well, of course, if they have evidence that he had child porn, everybody's going to say he was a terrible guy. The question is, what specific evidence does the DA have to link him to the murder? We don't know yet because they haven't revealed it. Could be DNA. But on May 1, there's going to be a preliminary hearing where there'll be a mini trial, and over the course of a week, the prosecution will lay out their case.
And before that, another kind of the second biggest headline was simply how much data, how much evidence there is, and issues with processing all of that. They say that there's 40 terabytes of evidence that they need to download. But my first thought is we're in the digital age. Almost every case, there must be phone records, all of this involved. Why do you think it's such an issue this time?
I think it's because there's a tsunami of evidence, apparently digital, and also witness statements, subpoenas, grand jury testimony has to be unsealed, plus privileged information has to be called out. So it's a huge job to get ready for the prelim.
Next to us on camera, there's court sketches from inside the courtroom today. We were not allowed to bring our TV news camera inside, but you're fighting for us to be able to do that. Tell us about the conversation you had today with the judge.
Yeah, I represent Radio and TV News Association. We always go in, try to get cameras in the courtroom, and the problem is the judge...
He said he represent the Radio and News Association. Like, if it's not green money, it must be red money, and red money, it's blood money. Like, look, we have to fight to get the cameras in there because there's going to be capital pun. I don't want to be a player no more. I'm not a player. I just talk a lot. He said they got to get them cameras in there. Or else he represent for them cameras. And them news stations and stuff. He a representative for the media. He gonna make sure they get them cameras in there and make a big production out this thing. They not about to let a drip drop of blood go to waste. Why they acting like this? To me, I think it's sickening. Because if this young lady really did lose her life like that, she needs swift justice. We ain't got time for all this foolishness, man. A dog could figure this out. Sniff her clothes, sniff that nigga, and if the dog bark, give him the chair. They had the technology in the 1700s to catch your ass. And we in 2026 and they got to download gigabytes just to bring it to court. Look at this, y'all. Make sure y'all do me a favor, hit that like button for the algorithm and leave comments. I would really appreciate that. Okay, I need to see this for myself, for my own let me see what year I want to. Okay, I'll leave it here. Now, think with me. All it took was a picture of your ugly mug, not even a good picture. All they needed was your face, and they will sniff you out. You could be on the whole nother side of the country. They will still catch up with your ass. You could be in hiding on the Indian reservation. Before you know it, the lawman is coming down the hill. No GPS, no phone, no pager. They will get at your ass. And this is well documented. This is American history. Most feared bounty hunters of the Wild West, John Duncan. If somebody put the bag down on you, John Duncan is coming. Sooner or later, you're not going to get away from him. Fast forward. They goofy. Every last one of them. He goofy, they goofy, and they don't give a damn about that girl.
High-profile case involving celebrity singer David Burke. Now, his hearing ended just a short time ago, and 1 year ago today, 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, that's the victim here, she was seen for the last time, and investigators say she went to the singer's house. And a newly released report from the medical examiner says Rivas died from, quote, multiple penetrating injuries after suffering 2 puncture wounds to her torso. Now, for more on what happened at today's hearing, we go live now to Los Angeles, where attorney Dina Dahl is outside the courthouse. Dina, thank you so much for joining us today. You were inside that hearing. You are our eyes and ears. What can you tell us came out of that courtroom?
Well, the defense continues to request a speedy preliminary hearing, highly unusual considering the mountain of what appears to be forensic and digital evidence.
They not paying her with no peanuts. She getting a bag out of this. For her to show up, to get out of bed, put on her suit, and come down there, her check looking crazy. She a trial attorney, special correspondent, so they got to pay her. He getting paid. Everybody getting paid. She getting paid. This is money right here.
Prosecutors had. In fact, prosecutors say they have a significant amount of child pornography evidence on the singer's phone that they plan on handing over to the defense.
Yeah, Dina, we heard DA Nathan Hochman earlier this week talk about the totality of that digital evidence. About the 2 girls sitting there. Could you give us a little more courtroom color? Who actually was there? Did we see David? Did he have any particular demeanor or reaction to anything? What can you tell us in those regards?
Well, the courtroom was packed. There was a line going into it, and you had to be able to get there in time to get a seat. Actually, a representative from the media organization at the end of the hearing asked the judge yet again to open the hearings to cameras, and she denied it yet again. So these will not have cameras throughout the proceedings. David Burke himself walked in with an orange jumpsuit, sat down. His lawyer, Blair Burke, put her hand on his shoulder, and she did that whenever she addressed him throughout the hearing. He nodded whenever the judge said his name, answered it in the affirmative whenever she asked him a question. And at the end of the hearing, when she talked about the fact that he would have to come back at the next hearing, may have to wait, had to be on time, he folded his hands in a prayer-like position. Otherwise, we did not hear from him.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting. And my thought, as you know, we watch this develop, usually the celebrity isn't the one who wants to get his hands dirty. And the fact they have that heavy charge of first-degree murder against him, I just find that very interesting. Dina, did the prosecution, you talked about the child pornography they found on his digital devices. Did they go into anything further regarding maybe timeline of events, or was that kind of the only thing they touched on as far as substance, evidentiary things regarding this case here?
We got a better idea of the volume of evidence they have collected over these many months. And the fact that they actually convened 3 separate investigative grand juries, one in November, one in December, one in February. The defense is asking for that to be unsealed, and it sounds like that will happen in due course. And then the prosecution saying that the search warrants collected 40 to 50 terabytes of evidence that the robbery and homicide had already tried to transfer that over to defense over these last 4 to 5 weeks, and only about 30% have been transferred. They did say as of tomorrow, the prosecution will hand over to defense more concrete arrest reports, some of the search warrant reports, also chemical evidence, DNA evidence, giving us a glimpse to the fact that they perhaps do have DNA and chemical evidence they plan on introducing.
If it wasn't him, who was it? Is there any other possible suspects in this case? Is there any mentions of somebody else that could have possibly stolen his car or used his car without his consent? Is there one of his buddies that was hanging out with them when they were streaming? Was he the only person that she was involved with at the time? Do her parents have any recollection of anything? Well, what's going on with her cell phone? Did she text David before she came through, or did she just pop up at that man's house? What type of dialogue did they have going back and forth? Was there any signs of an argument or a disagreement days before her disappearance? Did they have any communication at, any emails or something? There's some simple shit. Let me have been dealing with somebody and I'm frequently going to visit them or whatever. It should be a whole bunch of proof pointing to that person, especially if I'm dead in a trunk. But that's not enough. Man, we gonna be covering this some more. But yeah, I think they really underestimating the mental capacity of the public. And that's easy to do because he black. And he looked guilty. That's just a recipe for disaster, man. They want to put this Epstein shit on hold for I don't know how long. They not trying to deal with that. They got some more wood to put in the fire before they get around to that Epstein shit. They got way more proof on Epstein than they got on David. Hell, they probably got more proof on David than they got on Epstein. They still playing games. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick around for like 5 minutes. If we get a phone call, if somebody can try to help me understand this, then we can kick it a little longer. But for right now, I don't know what to think about all of this stuff because I don't like the fact that they're playing with the public with this nonsense they got going on. Okay, listen to this.
And right now, 3 new allegations against the TikTok singer charged in the murder of a Lake Elsinore teen. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Annabelle Sedano. David Burke went in front of a judge for the second time in this high-profile case, and new evidence was revealed. NBC4's Eric Leonard is in our newsroom with a breakdown of what happened in court today. Eric.
Hi, Annabelle. Well, David's defense team has been insisting that a preliminary hearing must be held as soon as possible, and that's where a judge will consider the validity of the criminal charges. That's now been set for late next week, but complicating preparation for a hearing like that, prosecutors say there is a mountain of potential evidence, including images of child pornography that they say can't just be copied for the defense. The singer, David, whose legal name is David Burke, was quiet throughout this brief hearing in downtown LA this morning. Dressed in orange jail clothes, you can see in the sketches there, he only spoke when the judge asked him to agree to the next hearing dates. Burke pleaded not guilty Monday to charges he murdered 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez in 2025 after at least a year of alleged sexual abuse. His defense attorneys, you see them here, leaving court today without comment, have made several demands to the court to see all of the potential evidence as soon as possible. But prosecutors today explained this was going to take some time. They told the judge there are terabytes of material, and some of it allegedly contains child sexual abuse imagery, what we would call child pornography, which prosecutors said cannot just be handed over to defense lawyers. They said there are still sealed grand jury transcripts, records of wiretaps and search warrants. All of this will take many days, if not longer, to prepare and provide to defense attorneys. Yesterday, the LA County Medical Examiner published its own report on Rivas Hernandez Hernandez's death. The coroner concluded she died of 2 sharp, penetrating wounds to her chest, and the rest of the report detailed the dismemberment and decomposition of her body. She was found last September in a Tesla sedan registered to Burke after that car was impounded from a street in the Hollywood Hills, close to a home that Burke had been renting. So, today, the judge set the preliminary hearing for a week from Friday, May 1st, but it's possible that will be delayed again. It all depends on how quickly the defense is able to get access to all of the files of the evidence. David Burke, in the meantime, remains in jail with no bail. Live in the newsroom, I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News. Back to you.
They cold-blooded with this stuff, man. That look in his eyes, like he was at the bar last night, knowing that they working for an evil system and everything. Look at this. Hold on.
Singer David is back in court today following the release of an autopsy report detailing the gruesome death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
David was charged with first-degree murder and mutilating a body after Hernandez's dismembered remains were found inside the trunk of his car at a Hollywood tow yard just last year. David has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
His lawyers are now pushing for prosecutors to quickly present their case in an effort to challenge the evidence against
Man, hell, man, I'm gonna have to do my own research, man. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna get to the bottom of this, and that's gonna be the end of this. I ain't going through this no more. According to reports, David's Tesla was towed on September 5th, 2025, after being reported as abandoned in a Hollywood Hills neighborhood. Neighbors reported the vehicle had been parked in the same spot for several weeks, leading to citations on August 27th and September 3rd for violating a 72-hour parking ordinance before being towed. So it sat out there for several weeks. And they towed it because it violated a 72-hour parking ordinance before being towed. Somebody make that make sense to me. They tow your ass within 72 hours. And it was sitting out there. Why, oh why, would he leave a car with a decomposing body in it in the middle of Beverly Hills for several weeks? And it wasn't looking like he was coming to get it no time soon. The neighbors come and leave that car still sitting there. A whole month go by, that car still sitting there. Ain't nobody smelled nothing. They towed the car and ain't smelled nothing. You figure 7 weeks, that car would have been reeking like hell. In hot-ass California. Key details regarding the towing. Location: the car was found abandoned in a residential area in Hollywood Hills. It's like he was waiting for them to find the damn car. I seen Breaking Bad. You supposed to go to the hardware store or do something. Get rid of the car. He left it in the residential neighborhood. I could see if he parked it in the middle of the forest somewhere. Let nature take over. In a residential area in Hollywood Hills, Jack Nicholson probably passed that car every day on his way to the golf course. This don't make no damn sense. Time frame: it was first reported as abandoned on August 26, 2025 and towed after being ticketed for violating the 72-hour parking rule. So they put a ticket on it first, after they complained about it, and waited several weeks to tow. Condition reports noted the car was covered in dirt, making it look abandoned, and it was parked in a strategic area which likely drew attention. So whoever parked it purposely parked it there. so everybody can notice the car. And it was dirty. And that's the last thing people in Beverly Hills want to see is some type of dirt, grunge, or filth in their neighborhood. Discovery, the vehicle was towed to a Hollywood yard where the decomposing body was later discovered. The car was linked to the singer, leading to a murder investigation into the death of a teenager. But hey, that's what they do. You know, for a story or whatever, I'm starting not to believe none of it. I'm starting not to believe it was nobody in the trunk. I'm starting not to believe any of this stuff is real. People not that damn stupid. People can put two and two together just walking past somebody. Especially in the times we live in now with the internet. It'd be a video about something completely different and people would notice 1,000 other things that ain't got shit to do with the video. I seen a bunch of old heads jumping somebody and people pointing out the fact that some of the old dudes had diapers on, some of them had holes in their socks. I refuse to believe people are that damn dumb. But hey, we just gonna have to wait and see. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Rest in peace to Celeste, if there was ever really a Celeste. And I don't know what to believe, you know. But y'all let me know what y'all think. So much love for y'all. And for the people that tuned in, hit the like button and left comments in the comment section in the live chat. I really do appreciate y'all. For my brother that called in, I appreciate you, man. Real talk. Next time I go live, you definitely got to call back. Yo, Gage Gore, keep holding it down out there, brother. And everybody else watching, so much love for y'all. GMB, I'm going to holler at y'all on the next video.